Emily. Sheriff Xian wants to talk to you and the Traveler about our plans for the Night Watch.
Thank you, Kale. But first, here, I prepared a kind of herbal tea that helps calm the spirit. Why don't you have some?
Oh, that's very kind of you, but...
Oh, it's not good to be so tense, especially when we've got a long night ahead of us. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but... You seem very preoccupied with Kiria's revenge. If there's anything you want...
Hey, Emily! Kale! Oh, are we interrupting something? No, not at all. This will be easier to talk through with you here anyway. I've just been thinking. If Kiria has the capacity to commit murder while remaining completely undetected, why didn't he target Sylvain along with Lucien last night? There was just a single door separating them. If his intention was to target both brothers, then there was... When I accompanied Sylvain to his room after Lucien died, and saw how distraught he was, I suddenly realized, maybe Kiria did that on purpose. Maybe he wanted Sylvain to experience the pain of losing a loved one before he completed his own...
So did he attack Edgar as a warning then? To scare Sylvain and Lucien?
Based on what we've heard about Kiria, that may very well...
Losing his sister all those years ago. What has been... Whenever I get to thinking like that, I just can't help but wonder. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't think like that. Not after...
There's nothing wrong with the way you're feeling. Empathy... In all my years of cleaning up crime scenes, I've witnessed countless families. Some of them even try to stop me, begging me not to erase the last remnants of their loved ones. But getting swept up, surround yourself with fragrance for too long, and your sense of smell will become dull. Allow yourself to be consumed by your emotions. So while you hold on to that sense of empathy, do Sylvain and Lucien really deserve to die? How much did they truly know about the Fatui and the delusion? Did they force Yelena to make those decisions? Answering those questions requires a lot of time and evidence, while a single act of vengeance can put those answers... I've witnessed a lot of deaths in Fontaine. When someone dies, a certain amount of information but generally speaking, death will just leave most questions.
Once you're consumed by hatred, it will become next to impossible to think about.
You're right. The fact that we can approach these questions from this perspective isn't because we're more rational than them, but that also makes us perfectly positioned to stand on the outside and try to pull them back from the brink before it's too late. I understand Kiria's decision, but I still want to stop him. Master...
The fortunate...
Emily, Traveler. Huh? Edgar.
Oh, it's you two! Didn't you head back to your room to rest, Edgar? Is it really okay for you to be...
A little exercise never hurt. Besides, I don't have much time left in Sumeru.
We could do that for you, Master.
No need. I've grown attached to these flowers. And this is my land. I would imagine Sheriff Sham is here for a more...
the Night Watch! You mentioned earlier that we still...
That's right. I've stationed some of my men around the surrounding area, but we still don't have anyone standing guard next to Sylvain's room. Exactly. After some discussion, we concluded that Sylvain has the highest risk of being attacked next. You're the most skilled fighter here, Traveler. And Emily's expertise is sure to come in handy in a pinch. That's why I want you two stationed next to Sylvain's room. So, are you up for it?
Sounds perfectly reasonable. I'll be glad to have your help tonight.
My men and I will be stationed nearby to monitor the situation. A warning will be issued if any...
I'll head into the mountains to keep an eye on everyone coming in and out of the area. Just leave the wilderness surveillance to the forest rangers.
Not a peep. Has Kirya given up on his revenge? Guess we'll have to keep at it. Still nothing unusual. Paimon took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
Perhaps Kiria's true motive was simply forcing Sylvain to confess his crimes. No, that can't be right. If all he wanted was for Sylvain to be convicted for his true crimes, he could have tipped off the Marechaussee Phantom years ago. There must be something we're missing. Something extremely important.
Maybe we just need to calm down a little. How about some tea? That herbal blend from earlier was pretty tasty. You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then, like looking at the... Oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Flowers, glaze lilies, incense. Oh no! Sylvain's room! Quick!
Wait, what?
Hey, did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
It was the older of the merchant brothers, right?
Yeah, I think his name was Sylvain. Poor guy.
First it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant named Lucian, and now this.
Listen up, everyone. This is an active crime scene. Please.
It's been 3 days and they haven't even caught a glimpse of the guy.
Do you think it could be the work of an evil I mean, how do you get away with something like that with so many people watching?
Keep it moving, everyone. No loiter.
I suppose I'm...
You don't know that. Kiria already attacked you once, and you survived. Perhaps he'd...
You were the only reason I managed to survive, Emily.
Even if I wasn't there, Tainari was also in the vicinity. He would have been able to help.
Is that so? I have exceptional students, caring friends, and the respect of my peers. If it is indeed my time to go, but Kiria has nothing. Yelena is gone. It really makes you wonder.
If you really want an answer, I suppose you'll have to ask Kiria himself, once we've...
Well, Emily, there's something else I'd like to ask of you. But so many flowers were transported here for the show. Some of them thousands of miles. Whether Kiria gets to me first, or I'm sent back to Fontaine to stand trial, I won't be around to look at. I know it's a lot to ask, but could I...
Of course, Master.
Really? Now I truly have...
Sheriff Sham still has some questions for me, so...
Go ahead. Best not to keep him waiting. Hey.
I'm sorry, Master.
Another all-nighter. Paimon sure hopes Emily's plan will go well.
Emily Emily still isn't back. I hope she didn't run into any trouble. Yeah, that's true.
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. The crowd is gone. After listening to Emily's plan, I started getting the materials together and arranging personnel. To be honest, I'm still not sure how the crime was committed that night.
The key clue was right in front of us the entire time! Let's go! We'll show you where the culprit hid a goose.
Glazed lily, huh? I think I've heard of it before. It's a flower from Liyue, right?
Well, did you know it only blooms at night?
Emily, you're back!
Exactly as expected.
A flower that only blooms at night. Ah, like the Neelitpala lotus.
Exactly. Although the Neelitpala lotus wouldn't be a good substitute in this scenario. That's why Kiria chose the glaze lily as his mechanism. He would start by preparing.
If applied to the outside, you would still be able to smell a goose, even in the daytime. If poured into the flower pot, the liquid would seep into the soil. That might prevent the substance from taking effect. There's a sticky substance on the edge of the flower petals. It's one I recognize. If you stick the petals together with slime condensate, then, in the daytime, the glaze lily would act almost like a hidden container.
That's right! He applied a diluted form of slime condensate. That way, the agouste would remain trapped inside during the daytime, unable to seep between the petals and evaporate into the air. However, the diluted slime condensate wouldn't be viscous enough to prevent the petals of the glaze lily from opening at night.
And Kiria could execute his revenge without having to step foot inside the room.
By the next morning, the sample of agouste would have nearly fully evaporated. The glaze lily would have already closed its petals and any...
Wait a second. You're telling me this version of agouste is so toxic, inhaling the minute amount trapped inside a flower? And how did Edgar even survive ingesting a whole bottle of the stuff?
That's because agouste is just as dangerous now as it was all those years ago. The level of toxicity has never changed.
Ah, you mean people who are sensitive to elemental energy. So it's just some sort of happy coincidence? That can't be right. They were involved in the operation all those years ago.
I wouldn't use the word allergic necessarily. It's more, you can think of it this way. It's not that Sylvain and Lucien are innately sensitive to elemental energy, but that...
In Fontaine, I experienced how drinking primordial seawater made me more attuned to the element of hydro. But that substance would be hard to get around here. All kinds of essential oils commonly found in alchemical products can temporarily increase elemental affinity. But it would be difficult to force someone to use them without knowing it. The incense I smelled earlier seemed familiar. Thinking back on it, I'm almost certain it was the scent of In Sumeru, scholars use spirit borneal to aid meditation and stimulate their connection to the Dendro Archon.
alchemically produced essential oils, the